quarterfinals of GP Paris, ladies and gentlemen, about to get underway. Once again here, we do have very, very exciting standard matches to bring you. Riley Knight in the booth along with Marijn Leibert. A great pleasure to have your company wherever you are around the world, tuning in to see these titans of magic going at it, hammer and tongs, of course. Antonio Del Moral León on the left-hand side of your screen. A Pro Tour champion, Marijn. He's been around the traps, and Hugo Diniz scraping into the top 8 after some very, very tricky navigation of the final round.
Yeah, and the top 8 actually seems a little bit inexperienced when it comes to GP top 8s. Do we actually have, like, yeah, there's a guy that actually top 8'd Grand Prix Miami a couple of weeks ago, right? But apart from that, it seems like not a lot of them have Grand Prix top 8 experience. So it will certainly be a thing about who can handle the pressure the best.
Yes, you're right in saying that. Of course, we do have the Berliner of Grimmer. He's Jasper Grimmer. He's come all the way here from my hometown as well, or my adopted hometown in any case. And this is his second top 8, so he's been amongst the big leagues before, and he's no slouch. Certainly, he's certainly laid waste to me at a couple of FNM drafts in the past. But here we are, almost time to head off to the races to find out who's going to take it to the next step here in the quarterfinals of GP Paris.
I think Hugo is a slightly favorite in this matchup. He does have a couple of Atarkas as well, so his deck is certainly well positioned. The Atarka is super powerful, especially if you can hit it off a Genesis Hydra. He can even bring in a couple of Den Protectors and Ash Cloud Phoenixes. He's also got a good Cyber Nissa Ugin mix. I'm kind of liking his chances. Of course, things can go wrong as always, but if I would have to put my money, I would put it on Hugo Diniz.
Yeah, certainly. I think Green Devotion with a little bit of an edge over Abzan Control in the fact that they have these cards like Death Miss Raptor and the Den Protectors out of the sideboard, which are going to sort of recurring threats. We've talked about the value that these cards can get a fair bit this weekend, Marijn. But cards like Genesis Hydra, cards like Whisperwood Elemental, these are the cards with the built-in almost 2-for-1 against the Abzan Control list, requiring an immediate answer or providing immediate value with it when they're cast.
Yep, and like Whisperwood Elemental, it's still a question, because if you kill it on the spot, it doesn't give you the 2-for-1. But Genesis Hydra, once you get enough mana, it's always going to be a 2-for, unless you whiff and you don't hit anything, but that doesn't happen too often. So I think what Antonio Del Moral wants to do is get out of gates as quick as possible. Fleece main line, we basically saw that in round 14, I believe, or round 15, where he won against the Green Devotion deck just because of Fleece main line. He hit with Fleece main line, Siege Rhino, started attacking as soon as possible, and then his 1-for-1 removal was good enough to give him the space to deal the final damage. And
one of the other cards that was really critical in this matchup, I think, was Thoughtseize as well, because we saw 3 copies of the card cast against the Green Red Devotion player, and just being able to pick holes in the strategy. You know, if they've got a hand that's heavy on Haymakers, you take out the Sylvan Caryatids, you get rid of the Elvish Mystics, the things that are going to let them get there. Whereas if they've got this great hand that builds up to a huge card, you just snag that one and there's nothing to go. But here we are with the beginning of the game, both players opening up with a couple of lands. Forest on the side of the Pro Tour champion, a Temple of Abandon for Denise. And no 2-drop for Del Moral León, so no early pressure in the form of Fleece main line here. But Dennis has a 2-drop of his own, and it's Rattleclaw Mystic. The full 12 mana dorks for Denise, 4 Elvish Mystic, 4 Sylvan Caryat, and 4 Rattleclaw Mystic. So he has not come mucking around when it comes to early mana development, Marijn.
No, 11 or 12 is the usual number for these Green Devotion decks. You really need to get that mana accelerator on turn 2 or 3, because otherwise your cards are way too expensive. I mean, cards like Polucrons, they're fine on turn 4, but they're so much better on turn 3. Same goes for Whisperwood Elemental. If you play that one on turn 4, it's a lot better. Xenagos the Reveler is also a lot better. On turn 3, it's such a good Planeswalker. You get a 2-2, and then the next turn you actually ramp up to 6 or 7 7 mana could already mean a Dragon Lord Atarka.
Yeah, it can really open up some hugely explosive turns there. The Xenagos, the Reveler, the very powerful Planeswalker. We're having a visit from a 4-drop right now. It is Pelukrinos. So, as you mentioned, Mariah, the Green Devotion deck doing what it wants to do, inviting these huge monsters to the party a little bit earlier than one might expect.
Yeah, now Antonio Del Moral, he's already in an interesting situation. He needs to start answering the threats from Hugo Diniz, but if he, for example, plays Abzan Charm now, he gets a hit from Whisperwood Elemental, and that's a 2-for-1. So he kind of has to wait, which means he has to take 5 from the Pelukrinos, and that's not what he wants to be doing either. He cannot play a Siege Rhine in either, because that one doesn't even block the Pelukrinos and doesn't really accomplish anything, and also opens the door for Whisperwood Elemental. So right from turn 3, he's in turn 4, he's in a bad spot because of the Rattleclaw Mystic.
Here's 2 mana. Thinks better of it.
Here's 2 mana. Thinks better of it. Yeah, it's dangerous to play something. I mean, Fleeceman Line does nothing on this board. You might as well ship the turn and hope to Absent Charm. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's got Dromoka's Command. Is that why he's playing this instead of the Siege Rhino? I guess it is. Yeah, he's gonna search for a forest. He's actually gonna kill the Rattleclaw Mystic, I think. That means that the Pelukrinos stays in play, but it also means that Hugo does not get the opportunity to resolve a Whisperwood Elemental, and that one would be really problematic already.
Hugo Diniz going to get underway with his 4th turn. He's got land in hand, of course, in addition to Sylvan Caryatid, what looks like a Genesis Hydra. What's the play for Denise?
This play from Antonio also gives him like a small clock, which is good because we've seen that he cannot give the Green Devotion deck too much time, especially with Genesis Hydra in there. So making that 4-4 could also grow to a 5-5 next turn if he has a land. And the 5-5 is actually pretty good against Pelukrinos, against Whisperwood Elemental, against Genesis Hydra. So I like the play of getting that Fleeceman Line into play. And it also uses his mana at its best. Like, he could have gone for Absent Charm on the Pelukrinos, but then he would have kind of wasted 1 mana. He could have gone for Siege Rhino, but that wouldn't have matched up very well with Pelukrinos. So I think I like the Fleeceman Line a lot.
Death Mist Raptor, the play for Denise. Del Moral León begins his 5th turn. He can make the Lion monstrous if he chooses. At the moment, just in the possession of a single +1/+1 counter thanks to the Dromoka's Command.
And it's kind of... Hugo Diniz doesn't run main deck Den Protector, but he's got Rattleclaw Mystic to bring back the Death Mist Raptor. So his deck is quite interesting. It's very close to the list we had for the Pro Tour, but he added Death Mist Raptor just because he saw how good it is. And after this weekend, you cannot blame him.
Pairings round 7 are up. Joueurs pour le Super Sunday Series scellé.
Del Moral León down to 9, so he's under a little bit of pressure here. His life total has been under siege at the hands of the Green-Red Devotion player.
This is not a good spot for Antonio Del Moral. He cannot take 8 damage. Well, he can take 8 damage, but he goes to 1, and that's not very good, especially since his Caves of Koilos also requires a damage if he wants black. But if he goes for Absent Charm now, he will run into the Whisperwood Elemental. So basically anything that comes out of Hugo Diniz now is pretty bad.
Forest the draw for Denise. And an immediate trade there between the Fleece Mane Lion and the Death Mist Raptor. Denise going to fetch away.
Usually not what you want to be doing. When your opponent attacks with the Raptor, you don't want to block with your Fleece Mane Lion if it doesn't have indestructibility yet. But given that he's at 8, if he goes down to 5, he will have to block next turn anyway. And so it was a good choice to block. But now with Whisperwood Elemental, if that's a creature, it also brings back the Death Mist Raptor. So this is not looking good for Antonio. He can Abzan charm the Whisperwood and then hope it's like just a naked manifest, just a land or something. But even then he goes down to 6 and basically everything Hugo does is still pretty good.
Let's check in with Simon Gertzen, who stepped across to give us some updates from the feature match area.
Early results in the quarterfinals, and it's red decks taking game 1 here. Christian Haug is facing off against Kim Seong-soo, and he had a difficult decision. Does he go for an aggressive route with deploying his creatures, or does he go for Thoughtseize and less pain from his lands? He opted not to Thoughtseize, tried to raise them on a red deck, but double Searing Blood kind of punished him for that. Kim Kyung-soo was able to win a pretty tight game. Also a winner, Tristan Pulzel against Zen Siet. He had the Rebel Master go unchecked against Green-White, so also another red deck up again.
So there we go, Goblin Rebel Master getting things done for the red decks as they've been doing since the printing of the powerful 3-drop from M15. Elspeth joined the party here, Marine.
Not surprised to see Elspeth in the top 8. I said it before, this card is still very good in the format, especially against all of these green creatures, and it's actually pretty good now, because even if Hugo attacks with everything, like Manifest and Whisperwood, Antonio will just double block the Manifest, jump on the Whisperwood Elemental, and then next turn he can -3, kill the Whisperwood Elemental. So this is like one of his ways out, I think, to this situation. He will be facing a fresh Manifest, of course, but he can surely handle 1 Manifest. The problem is that 2 and certainly 3 is hard to get by. I do see a Rattleclaw Mystic in Hugo's hand. That would give him a lot of mana and bring back the Death Mist Raptor. Like imagine a land together with Rattleclaw Mystic that's play the morph, unmorph it, gain mana, then get back the Raptor, which gives you Devotion 5, and then you can still activate the Nykthos if you have another land. It's like 5 mana. It's a lot of things that can go wrong, and then you also get the 3 mana from the Rattleclaw. So 8 mana it would be. Does he? Yeah, he's got actually another Nykthos, so he can do that. He can Genesis Hydra for 6 plus Raptor plus Rattleclaw Mystic. Wow.
Seems decent.
Seems pretty good to me. But of course, the Genesis Hydra is not even all that good because of the Elspeth, which can go -2, -3 and destroy it. But getting back the Raptor and putting the Rattleclaw Mystic in place is nice.
Sylvan Caryatid.
I think he was 1 mana short. Let's see, 3 plus 5, 8. No, it's only 6. Yeah, he was like a couple of mana short. Oh, but that one is a mistake. Oh, I was thinking about the one in his hand, but this was the Manifest he hit off Whisperwood Elemental.
That's a big hit.
How much mana is this? If he hits Genesis Hydra for 8, he can actually hit, or for 7, he can actually hit Dragonlord Atarka, which would be super good. Another morph. So now he's got no mana.
He should have 3 in pool now.
No, more, because he added mana with the Nykthos. He added 5 to the pool. Plus 1 left from the Mystic. That's 6. So now he's got 3 mana left. That's what you said. You're always right. Riley, right, Knight. And now another Manifest. Look at that. Now the Elspeth doesn't do all that much. Even the minus, I guess 1 removal is actually still fine.
Yes, rather handily, all of Denise's creatures at the moment have fewer than 4 power other than the Wispwood Elemental, so a little bit of Elspeth insurance there. But a very explosive turn all the same. See what Antonio Del Moral León has to say about this. Three more soldiers can enter the fray. 1, 2, and 3.
He's gonna downfall or Abzan charm the Whisperwood Elemental, and then the 1/1s are actually fine. And that's why Elspeth is that good in this format. You see all of these creatures, they're good, but I mean, if you make 3 1/1s every turn, it's still pretty fine. Pretty good. Now, he's hitting these manifests, you must say.
Of course, with Griffix, another nice one there, flipped up. We see a Genesis Hydra on top of Denise's deck. Rugged Highlands in the hand.
Yeah, of course, Genesis Hydra not the best manifester, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see a very big Genesis Hydra here. How much devotion has he got? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If he flips the Mystic, it's 9. 9. He could go Genesis Hydra for approximately 15 with the second Nykthos.
Simon Götzen is with us again. We heard a little bit of raucous applause from the feature match area. Simon, does that mean another result?
That was the applause of the Belgians cheering on Amand Dozimon, who beat Jasper Grimmer brutally in 2 games. Abzan aggro beating Abzan Megamorph pretty easily.
Abzan aggro, a deck that's been touted by many, Simon, as being very, very powerful indeed. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of people happy to see it getting all the way to the semis. Well done indeed to the Belgian. You'll be happy about that as well, Moraine.
You would be starting to think that Simon Götzen loves this Abzan aggro deck.
He has given me an indication or two that he's a fan of this deck, but he's such an understated young man that it's difficult to tell.
Yeah. Good thing I'm loving the Belgians winning, so this is a good combo. Simon is happy, I'm happy, and you're happy because we are happy. So.
Everyone's got a horse in that race. Denise fiddling around with his mana. A lot of numbers that require crunching here. But this should be a rather big turn here from the devotion side of things. Again, Genesis Hydra for about 1 million here. Let's see exactly how many it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Moraine Libert has been surpassed, as it was the 16th one.
Two more.
Oh, 2 more. Just 2 more. All right. Let's see what we've got here. The only one that I saw that was particularly impressive was the Wispwood Elemental.
Yeah, he didn't need a Tarka.
Still, a free Wispwood Elemental. You're not going to argue with that.
It's not free. It costs a lot of mana.
So here's a 4/4. It's going to add a couple of more creatures to the battlefield before very much longer, you'd imagine. You can see the legions, the hordes of manifests behind the elemental there. And of course, let's not forget about the 15/15 Hydra that's joined it. Sorry, 16/16. Simon Götzen has joined us again. More action from the feature match.
It does look as if the matchup against red does get better after boarding. Christian Haug was able to attack with an Offensa and then play a wing raid rock with raid, while his opponent was only sitting on a single Eidolon of the Great Rebel. So that was a relatively easy win for the German. So those players are heading to Game 3. And at Table 2, we have Tristan Polzel also in a much tougher spot against his green-white opponent, because after sideboarding there are Irrational Clerics and Hornet Nests waiting together with Collected Company. This might go to Game 3 as well.
We've seen many of the decks at the top tables this weekend, Marine, well and truly prepared for the aggro matchups. Irrational Clerics, Hornet's Nest, Angers of the Gods, Drowning Sorrows, all over the place.
And still two mono red decks make it to the top
And still
8.
2 mono red decks make it to the top 8. That's
how we
exactly
got-
right.
There weren't all that many. We didn't see many in the top 8. In the feature match area, we saw Tomohiro Saito a couple of times, but that's about it. And it's just, yeah, mono red. I'm not a big fan, especially at the Pro Tour, because usually at the Pro Tour people are ready for a deck like that, because they often recognize it very quickly that it's good or not good, and they know how to prepare for it. But at the GP, people will often like copy a list from the previous tournaments and then like tweak a couple of cards in their sideboard, and they'll think, yeah, Drown in Sorrow, I mean 2 is enough, I don't need that third copy, and then mono red all of a sudden is very good for a certain tournament.
So Hugo Diniz certainly taking his time when thinking about how he's going to proceed here. With no evasive creatures of any kind, he's certainly got some things to think about. Del Moral León, the picture of concentration you can see there. All swagged up and nowhere to go. Certainly hitting the tank about this attack, Marine.
Yeah, he's thinking about whether or not to attack with the Rattleclaw Mystics, because they basically trade for a soldier, but he can even sacrifice the Whisperwood Elemental if he wants to get like 2 manifests of the Rattleclaw Mystics, but I don't think that's what he wants to be doing. He just, yeah, I don't think he can attack with the Rattleclaw Mystics. Well, he's just going for it. I wonder if he's attacking Elspeth or Antonio Del Moral. But this block seems pretty easy. I mean, you chump all of the 2... well, you basically block everything, and you kill 2 Rattleclaw Mystics in the meantime. And you could even kill a Whisperwood Elemental. Yeah, but this is why he attacks with the Rattleclaw Mystics. Actually very well played by Hugo Diniz. He knows that there's a good chance Antonio Moral is going to play a removal spell, and then he's going to sacrifice it. Yeah, and then in response... Oh, this is actually also very well played by Antonio Del Moral. He's going to destroy both the Whisperwood Elementals, and then the ability from the first one is still on the stack when the Hero's Downfall resolves, so he does not get a manifest. But he's going to get a manifest of the Rattleclaw Mystics if Antonio blocks these, but I don't think he's going to block them. Yeah, he shouldn't block them, because he can use these blockers the next turn, and now they would give extra value to Hugo Diniz.
And they'd also give him 2 manifests.
Yeah, but that's another reason not to block.
Yeah, absolutely right. So very important that I think none of his other creatures die this turn, because otherwise Hugo Diniz will be swimming in value.
I'm not sure they stack above each other, the double Whisperwood Elemental trigger.
Well, it gives all known token creatures an ability that says when this creature dies this turn, manifest the top card of your library. And I would imagine that they would stack together.
Yeah. Well, at least he's at 5. I mean, he can take 4, or maybe Hugo Diniz is just attacking Elspeth.
Very tricky interaction.
This is actually better for Antonio Del Moral. He stays at 5 life, and sure, his Elspeth goes down a little bit, but he's gonna make enough chumpers every turn, chump blockers every turn, to like eventually survive with a couple of removal spells together.
Simon Goetzen has stepped across once again. I tell you what, the updates are coming thick and fast.
Big plays here by Zan Siet. Tristan Pulsar attacks with Goblin Heel Cutter and a bunch of other creatures. Your Hornet Nest can't block. Okay, I'll just collect it company into 2 more Fleece Mine Lions. It's not looking good for red in this sideboarded game. Meanwhile, Christian Haug is facing down another early Idol of the Great Revels, which did race him in game 1, so we'll see how this match unfolds.
Thanks so much for that update there, Zimon.
Look at that. Sorin off the top. Giving all of my creatures +1/+0 and lifelink. Now Hugo Diniz, he needs the Atarka right now. Well, he doesn't draw it. Yeah, he knows about it. Yeah, this is the Elvish Mystic. This was the turn where he needed Atarka killing 5 of the 6 2/1s and then killing the Planeswalkers. But yeah, this is not good. He's not drawing the Atarka. This is the best card in the matchup, and he's just not getting there.
Not drawing it next turn either. You can see a Wooded Foothills on top of the library there. And his attacks aren't great in the sense that it's probably going to gain Antonio Del Moral more life than it's going to lose him. See the combination of Sorin, Solemn Visitor, and Elspeth, Sun's Champion, putting grinding this game to a very rapid halt here.
I love how the Abzan control deck can win the early game with the Fleeceman Lions and the Siege Rhinos. It can win the mid game with just Siege Rhino and like removal spells, and then the late game Elspeth just shines so hard. It's great to see this deck can win on all 3 fronts.
That's probably got a lot to do with the fact that that it's been at the top of the tables really since its inception as a deck all those months ago. You know, a deck that hasn't profited hugely from the releases of Fate Reforged or Dragons of Tarkir, but Old Faithful still been putting up W's all around the world. Hugo Diniz certainly taking the time to consider his options. Again, facing down 12 power worth of life-linking tokens, easily replaceable as well. In comes the 18-18. Very easy little block there is made by one of the soldier tokens, very bravely throwing itself under the bus. As Del Moral León draws a card. Once again, Planeswalker's on board, putting him in a good position to make sure he can grind his opponent out of this game. It's going to be difficult for Denise to find an opening here, considering that these soldiers are all threatening to buffer Del Moral León's life total in a major way. Here's a morph.
Here's a morph. Look at your graveyard. This has been the theme for this GP.
Yeah, for sure. And Del Moral León ships the turn.
And this Atarka, if it doesn't come like in the next 1 or 2 turns, it might actually be too late.
Yeah, that's right. A rather insurmountable board advantage being built upon by here by Antonio Del Moral León, and a Sylvan Caryatid on the top. Although Wooded Foothills can do some work in shuffling that one away. Hugo Diniz up to 22. Let's hear once again from the doctor from Deutschland, Simon Goetzen, here with another update.
From Deutschland, from Germany, yes, but no more Germans in the top 8 of this event. Christian Haug falls to Kyung-Soo Kim, and I have to say I'm quite impressed by the mono-red strategy that goes as far as casting 4-mana Thunderbreak Regents, because that puts on pressure on just a new dimension for a lot of these decks that have been adopting to the token-based strategies. Christian Haug loses in 3 games to Kyung-Soo Kim.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear Thunderbreak Regent, of course, not the card you want to see when you're sideboarding things like Arish and Cleric and Drown in Sorrow.
I love his build. He doesn't run Foundry Street Denizen. He just cut these. He cut the Dragon Fodders. He cut the Hordling Outburst. I think his version is super good, to be honest.
Del Moral León, another grindy little card here that's going to eke some gradual advantage, with the Courser of Crufix immediately snagging a Temple of Malady. Del Moral León happy enough to keep the Lion on top? Perhaps not. Away it goes. Instead, Urborg. 3 more tokens as Elspeth slowly but surely lofts the Spaniard skyward. And now Soren also buffering the rest of the team. So 1,000,000-2-1 lifelinkers and Morph as well as the Courser of Crufix. Unsurprisingly, Denise often opts to shuffle his library. Grabs a Forest. Puts an Ataka towards the top, obviously hoping for a little bit of good luck with keeping it there. As he shuffles up. And Del Moral León doing him the honours before Denise moves into his next turn. Let's see what we can find here. Elvish Mystic.
Where have we seen this before?
And Courser of Crufix on top for Denise. So the door slowly closing on his opportunity to claw his way back into this game. The tag team of Soren and Elspeth really getting it done here. Rugged Highlands going to buffer his life total even further here, Denise. And Elvish Mystic.
Yeah, this is starting to become a big problem for Hugo. Even if he draws a Tarka, I mean, he could kill... He can't even kill any Planeswalkers anymore. He could kill like 5 soldier tokens, but then he's losing it. Den Protector plus Abzan Charm, he's losing it. The Courser of Crufix is still causing troubles. I don't see a way out here for Hugo.
No, Hugo certainly seems to have his back against the wall here. Antonio Del Moral León not having to do a whole lot more to wrap this game up. Crux of Fate on top of his library, but yeah, nice little insurance policy, but not 100% necessary at this point. Even the 1818 Genesis Hydra you can see on your screen, not doing a whole lot of work here, Marianne.
No, if your opponent is making 3/1/1s, 3/2/1 lifelinks every turn, it's just not good enough. It doesn't come up very often that your 1818 doesn't do enough, but it's got no trample, it's got no flying, so it's not good enough.
Soren is going to go upstairs by the look of things. He does have the option to ultimate. Soren's ultimate only costing 6 loyalty, of course, but with all those Elvish Mystics in play, and of course Death Miss Raptor easy enough to recur with the right tools, Abyss Effect, not exactly what Del Moral León's in the market for at the moment. Whisperwood Elemental on the top, as Denise draws a Courser of Crufix.
I mean, isn't Hugo close to dead? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 8 blockers, but how many soldiers are there? 14 soldiers plus a Morph plus a Courser of Crufix. So 16 minus 8, that's 8. Yeah, he's got only 16 damage.
Once again, Denise taking his time to consider his options. As he ships it back. Crux of Fate the draw for Del Moral León. As we see Elspeth all the way up to 7,
yeah,
threatening ultimate.
Next turn it's over. There's no way out for Hugo. And I mean, Antonio Del Moral could even play it safe and just tick it up once more. But I don't think he needs to. He knows all of the cards in Hugo's hand except for 1. But how bad can that card be? I mean, if it would have killed all of the soldiers, he would have played it already. So I think next turn Antonio Del Moral is just going to ultimate and win the first game.
So while Denise considers his options, we do have Simon Goertzen once again with another update.
Yes, I don't know if you've gotten that one yet, but we have the last match that's still going. We have that in moving into Game 3. So the Arischen Clerics, Hornet's Nest and Fleeceman Lion Party was ultimately enough to defeat a lonely Goblin Rebel Master. But I have to say that Pulsel put up quite a fight. So moving into Game 3, the red deck on the play, it's going to be interesting to see if the Collected Company deck can overcome the red deck's aggression.
Thanks so much for that, Simon. Here's a last stand desperate attack here. Everything being sent in at the death as Elspeth threatening to go ultimate and more or less end the game on the spot. And the writing's really on the wall here for Denise, because Del Moral León in a position to just block things rather easily. However, that Wispwood Elemental is going to make it so that if these creatures are indeed picked off by the soldiers, things like the Rattleclaw Mystics and the Elvish Mystics, it means that he's going to get rewarded with some manifests. But it looks like Del Moral León's happy to gain a bunch of life here.
Yeah, but these manifests, they're... Even if it's Atarka and you flip it, it doesn't deal the 5 damage which you need to get Elspeth off of her ultimate. And then the manifests are never going to stop the onslaught of the 4-3 flying soldiers.
That's right, of course, with Soren and Elspeth's emblem there, it will mean we have 4-3 flying lifelinkers, and that's going to put the game out of reach nice and quick.
And there we go. Everything's gonna die except the Raptor, the Courser, and the Hydra. And and Antonio is gonna gain a bunch of life. And now it's just Elspeth ultimates. Oh yeah, he's gonna gain a bunch of manifests, but the manifests, as I said, are not gonna do enough. They're just gonna die to all the flyers, right? How much damage is this? Yeah, ultimate. Yeah, this is enough.
Seems like a lot. These soldiers are shortly going to take to the sky, and Denise has seen enough. He's packing up his cards. Going to reveal those manifests in short order. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that'll do that. You can see there an enormous flying armada is going to come and smash Denise's face in very convincing fashion. And these guys are going to hit the sideboards, Moran.
Yeah, they have quite a few options, both of them actually. We already saw that Antonio Del Moral, he's got a couple of cyber cards to bring in this matchup. He's got the Crux of Fate, which is bringing in. He's bringing the extra copy of Thoughtseize. He's probably bringing the Ugin as well. I believe he cybered the Ajani too. Yeah, the Ajani actually works very well together with the Den Protector. So that one was how he won, I believe, a game in round 14 or 15. And what does Hugo Diniz have exactly?
Hugo Diniz is looking at 2 Hornet's Nest, a Xenagos the Reveler, 4 Nylea's Disciple, 1 Arbor Colossus, Ashcloud Phoenix as a 2 of, Den Protector also as a 2 of, 2 Nissa Worldwaker and 1 Ugin. And in situations where the game's going to be drawn out, I can't think of a better card than Ugin the Spirit Dragon.
Nope. Certainly bringing that one in. Also the Nissa is very good, Den Protector is pretty good, Ashcloud Phoenix and the extra Xenagos, so he's got a lot of cyber cards.
Yeah, he's certainly in a position to modify and adopt a little different position.
To receive your prizes, go where the tournament was.
While these two fellas are getting ready with their sideboards, however, let's check in with our other feature match, the only one left remaining, of course. It's between Tristan Puzzle on the left-hand side of your screen, I should say, versus Zan Sied. Top 8 at GP Miami not too long ago, Marine. He's playing a green-white collected company deck, starting off with a Temple of Plenty.
And no turn 1 for Tristan Puzzle. Not the best draw for him already. He's got quite a lot of 1-drops. He might have cybered a couple out, but he certainly wants to get in there with his 1-drops if he can.
This is the more traditional red aggro deck that we've seen in the in the top 8 with Foundry Street Denizens with Zergo Bellstriker, but no turn 2 play as well. And here is the perfect turn 2 play on the part of Zan Syed in the form of Arishan Cleric.
Yeah, and this is like he's gonna have to skip his turn 3. Like he can go Heel Cutter to deal 3, but that puts Zan Syed back to 20. And he will be playing another creature next turn, so this is not a good start for Tristan.
So facing an empty board at the beginning of your opponent's turn 3, with them still on 20 life as you're playing mono-red aggro, not the spot you want to be in Moraine Libert. Courser of Krufix, also a nice one.
I think Tristan actually mulliganed to at least 6. He might have even mulliganed to 5. No, it was a mulligan to 6 actually. Now Heel Cutter, Courser of Krufix cannot block. This is not good. Tapping 3 mana every turn when your opponent is at 20 just to deal him 3 damage is not what you want to be doing.
Foundry Street Denizen as well. A little bit too late to the party here. Although on the back of that Arishan Cleric, it was always going to be difficult for the Goblin to get in for some meaningful damage. And Zan Syed sitting comfortably on 17 life as this game matures in the favour of the Green-White Mage. Happy to play a land and pass. 4 mana. What could it mean?
Collected Company. He didn't play the Temple of Plenty because he needs 4 mana for Collected Company, and he's got so many good hits now. I mean, Dead Misraptor among them, even another Arishan Cleric, a Hornet Nests. This is not good for mono red aggro. He will basically need to burn out his opponent, but if he ever hits like Arishan Cleric or Hidden Dragon Slayer, he's gonna gain some more life. He might even have a Dromoka's Command, and this is already the Courser of Krufix is already gaining him life.
So there's at least one hit from the Collected Company as he gets the other cards ready. See what he's found.
Yeah, the one card he the one Courser he has to reveal, and the other 5 cards he actually doesn't have to reveal. These are gonna go face down to the bottom, 4 of them, and he puts in the Arishan Cleric, also gaining some life. And as if that wasn't enough life gain, he's gonna also reveal the Blossoming Sands.
Double Searing Blood to target one of those coursers. And that's going to mean a 6-point chunk of damage is done to Zan Syed, but that's only undone the work done by the Arishan Clerics, and Syed still sitting comfortably on 15 life here. As he plays a Nykthos from the top of his deck. And Warden of the First Tree, another way for him to gain life here.
He's been dealt 12 damage already this game, and he's at 16.
That's insane. That's crazy. Polzel not really getting it done here.
That's where you kind of hope for a card like Atarka's Command, because it can prevent some life gain.
Yeah.
But it seems like the red-green version has actually fallen out of favor, and we have more mono-red. Well, Tomara Saito was still playing Atarka's Command. It's certainly a very good card, but it seems like the 2 players in our top 8 were liking the mono-red version a little bit more.
Warden of the First Tree, the draw. That can become a 3-3 very quickly. But with the ground nicely locked up for Zan Syed, it seems like Polzel definitely has a real difficult time getting himself back in this game, as Zan Syed goes back up to 18 now. 2 life off of that Blossoming Sands, thanks to the Courser of Krufix. And the Warden comes into play. 3 cards in hand for Syed. Here's a Lightning Strike to kill the Warden. That's fine, says Syed.
Yeah, just a Heel Cutter hard cast, but I mean, it's looking so bad. It can't even attack in this board with the Courser of Crucifix not being able to block. It would still get blocked by double a Russian Cleric, so it would trade for basically a 1/3.
He is one of the least exciting players you're going to see here. A very, very sorry-looking Goblin heel cutter there. Elvish Mystic, the play for Zan Syed, is you see a Hornet Nest on top of his library.
It's not completely over because Zan Syed's draw is that bad. Well, it's not bad, but it's not putting up big creatures into play. It's just putting defensive creatures like Courser of Crucifix and the Cleric into play. But the longer the game goes, the less likely it is for the mono-red aggro deck to win, because he's gonna start drawing cards like Foundry Street Denizen, like Zurgo Bell Striker, like Monastery Swiftspear, all cards that are not very good right now. But that is a good move though. Getting in that second heel cutter, now Cleric and Courser won't be able to block, and he will at least get some damage in. Yeah, we're gonna see a double block, but this is gonna be Lightning Strike on one of the 1/3s, and then the Elvish Mystic also dies.
So Puzzle doing everything he can to solve this puzzle.
Yeah, this is not a very difficult puzzle though. He should probably kill the 1/1. It's actually a harder puzzle than it looks, because there's also Dromoka's command to take into account.
Yeah.
And if you like Dromok, if you put the, I think he has to put the Elvish Mystic first in the blocks, and then try to Lightning Strike the. Yeah, that one doesn't matter, because the Lightning Strike is not going to deal damage anyway.
Yeah, Dromoka's command could be a very, very bad situation for Syed here.
Because if he puts the Cleric first, he can, Zan Syed can actually prevent the damage from Lightning Strike and put a +1/+1 on the Cleric. And then he doesn't lose any of his creatures, but it seems like none of that is happening. And he's just letting his Russian Cleric and Elvish Mystic go.
Hornet Nest the draw for Syed. See a Den Protector lurking on the top of his library. Here's a Forest, going to buffer his life total once again. For a man who's lost approaching 20 life in this game. And a Hornet Nest going to shore up the ground defenses even further. Puzzle checks with the top of his library. I'm not sure what he's found there. It's a mountain. This is going to pump up the Goblin Rabble Master in no uncertain terms. It's now a 4/1. Still very easily blocked, however, by the Arishan Cleric. Not to mention the Hornet's Nest that's there. Although Goblin Heel Cutter might have something to say about both of those things. Here's the dash to Goblin Heel Cutter.
He's gonna attack with this Foundry Street Denizen and the 2 Heel Cutters. Hornet Nest and Courser of Crucifix won't be able to block, and then the Cleric is gonna trade with the Foundry Street Denizen. So Zan Syed down to 11, and then he's gonna draw the Den Protector. The Den Protector is gonna be super good though, because it's gonna return like either this, I believe, the second copy of Courser of Crucifix, or like a Russian Cleric and gain some more life. So I think he's gonna stabilize at like 10 life, and then the Heel Cutters won't be able to attack anymore.
Confirmed 5 power for the Foundry Street Denizen. And no cards in hand for Tristan Polzel. Seems like Syed has one of his own. In they come.
In come the Goblins. That's what they do, right? The Goblins, they always come in.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what.
Very rude. Don't even knock and ask.
No.
So, Tradesy's there. And the Heel Cutter comes back to the hand as we ship the turn back to Syed. Den Protector the draw. And a Death Miss Raptor on top. Very nice.
Yeah, and this is where it gets out of control. The Courser of Krufix still gaining him life. Den Protector returning the second Courser. And then he's gonna start drawing like 3/3s. He will even be able to morph the Death Misraptor and unmorph it, making it a 4/4, so it won't die to Lightning Strike.
Puzzle checking exactly what a Den Protector does. We're all very familiar with this card at this stage. Regrowth effect after it's become unmorphed. Syed carefully considering his options before committing what looks to be his Den Protector to the board. And is this a final land in the hand of Syed?
I'm not sure what he's thinking. Yeah, he was thinking about returning that Courser of Krufix before playing that land, because that way he would have gained 2 life. But it seems like he's happy enough with 1 life, keeping the Den Protector actually for the Den Protector to return if it should it die.
So a range of options available to Zan Syed in his graveyard when he flips up that Den Protector there.
He's also got the Warden of the First Tree, which is pretty good now.
Mm-hmm. Choosing, however, to ship the turn without a further play. Once again, Puzzle examines the contents of his opponent's graveyard. 2 Arishan Clerics, Elvish Mystic, Warden of the First Tree, a couple of lands in addition to a Courser of Krufix. Many of those cards very well positioned in this matchup. Here's the second Goblin Heel Cutter.
This means that the Goblins got no choice, though.
Oh, sorry, that's a Goblin Rabble Master. Here's the Goblin Heel Cutter, my mistake. But now, you're right in saying, Mariah, now all of the Goblins have to attack. No choice about it. It's mandated by the Rabble Master that they all come in.
Or something like that.
Sound effects courtesy of Marine Libert. Available for weddings and parties everywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he's going to lose one of his heel cutters, but he's dealing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage, putting Zan at 5. Now that could be 8 again, though, with the Cleric, if he returns that one. He could also return... Oh, he's going to return that one?
A Collected Company, not a bad one to have, although he's not going to be able to deploy it this turn.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised there, because I was... If he whiffs on that, Collected Company is actually losing, whereas if he returns, for example, the Cleric, he's buying himself a lot of time, and with the Death Misraptor coming too... Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure that the Raptor on its own is actually going to be enough.
Well, we may see an upkeep Collected Company here to ensure he's going to hit at least the Raptor, but still...
Yeah, but then his draw is blind. That wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because then he draws a blind card, which might be a land. And now he's drawing a creature, and he's still got the top 6. No, it doesn't make sense to do it in the upkeep.
For sure.
Yeah, there we go. Also, this card, if this card's a land, he can actually play it off the Courser of Krufix.
So another Den Protector in the works for Zan Syed, with Collected Company and Death Misraptor in hand. Looks like we're going to see a main phase Collected Company here with 4 mana, but perhaps not. The falter effect of the Goblin Heel Cutter has been absolutely pivotal in actually keeping Polzel even in this game.
Yeah,
Zan Syed attempting to weather this storm as best he can.
yeah, he would have won this game if he would have had like a 1 or a 2 drop. Because he started like the first 5 turns, all he did was dash the heel cutter and deal 6 damage with that. But if there would have been a 1-1 or a 2 or a 2-2 with that, he would have dealt a lot of more damage. And Zansiad went all the way down to 5 now. But I think now he's going to turn the tables. He's going to play that Raptor, and then he's going to fire off the collected company.
That's a great point, Moran. Even having something like a Zergo Bell Striker or a Foundry Street Denizen would have actually pushed through at least an extra 4 damage.
Yeah.
And his opponent would be on 1. Here's Den Protector off the back of the collected company. A couple of other cards as well. He's going to have a look at all 6 of them, see what he can find. Looks like a Fleece Main Line was amongst them. Can see a Dromica's Command as well. That's not going to be any good there. And there's the Fleece Main Line.
Fleecy DC.
And another Hornet's Nest. That's huge.
Well, it's good. Well, it's actually really good because of the Goblin Rebel Master. Tristan has no choice but to attack, and then now some lifelink. So I think... Oh, he's actually shuffling that one away. He's hoping to hit a land to gain some more life. I think Tristan is now drawing to back-to-back removal spells, back-to-back burn spells for his life. If he doesn't, then the bees are gonna gain him, gonna give his opponent too much 1/1 lifelink flying death touch creatures.
Yeah, with Goblin Rebel Master necessitating the attacks from the other goblins, it's an awkward position to be in facing down double Hornet's Nest.
I'm a bit surprised that Zan decided to shuffle away the Hidden Dragon Slayer, but I think he really wants to hit the land on top, because that would put him at 6 and then 7 with an extra land, and that's like double Lightning Strike. Then only Stoke the Flames plus Lightning Strike would kill him. Let's see if he can draw a burn spell. The first one, that would be a start. I think that's another Rebel Master.
I saw the Kologan watermark on that card, so it may be something like Lightning Berserker. Puzzle, keeping us all in the dark.
We are looking for one more
Goblin Heel Cutter and one other card in hand.
on-demand happy hour event, and we are still taking registration for our happy hour queues. If you would like to play a booster,
He's got no choice. I mean, he's got to go for it.
of our €5
If he doesn't play the heel cutter, he loses basically everything and gives his opponent a 1/1 flying death touch, two 1/1 flying death touch. If he plays the heel cutter, he at least deals a couple of damage and makes sure that the Hornet Nest can block. So he has to go for it. He's got no choice. If it's a Lightning Berserker, he has to dash both of them. It's a Zergo, yeah. He has to dash both of them, yeah. He
So
needs to deal at least 3 damage so that he can top deck Lightning Strike.
Dash, dash. And you can't block with one of your Hornet's Nest.
Yeah, now
Says Puzzle.
the Hornet Nest is gonna jump in front of the Rebel Master, and then he's gonna block the Heel Cutter, the Zergo, and 1 token. And he's gonna take F4, so he will be down to 1 life. No, yeah, this is correct.
So this is what we're talking about when it comes to these the importance of the 1 drop there. Puzzle obviously having to mulligan, but oh man, in any position where he had an opening play on turn 1 or turn 2, a Dragon Fodder or a Foundry Street Denizen, that 1 damage would have made all the difference in this game. As it stands,
He's still putting up a very good fight.
he's played this masterfully.
And now his opponent is at 1, but yeah, he's gaining a lot of Hornet Nest tokens. So he will need to draw a burn spell within the next 2 cards and hope that Zan doesn't draw a land so that he can start gaining life with Courser of Crucifix.
So the Hornet Nest goes away, and we're going to see 7 Hornet tokens?
A lot, because Zergo is also a Goblin and Berserker as well.
Zergo's an orc. He's a goblin that's been all grown up.
Okay, so it's 7. 8.
The heel cutter as well, buffing the Rabble Master there.
Oh, it's a land. So he goes up to 3. So now Wild Slash is not good enough, but Lightning Strike and Stoke the Flames is good. Is still good enough.
So here we go, hoping for a bit of that Craig Jones magic.
Uh-oh, next turn it's time to gain 3 life with the Cleric.
One draw step left in it for Puzzle here.
Searing Blood also does it. So he's drawing to the 1 Searing Blood left in his deck. Stoke the Flames if he kept it, and Lightning Strike if he kept it.
Wild Slash no longer going to get it done. Tristan Polzel, hoping the top of his deck is going to treat him well.
And Zansiet needs to keep 6 blockers in case a heel cutter shows up.
This game much, much closer than we thought it would be in the opening turns after the mono-red aggro deck failing to hit its straps at the beginning of the game. But now we're seeing an activation of the monstrous ability of Fleecemane Lion. Looks like Sayed's lining up his blockers, getting ready. And as Marine pointed out before, 6 needed, and 6 look to be being left behind. Hornets incoming. As are
bees and raptors. And it seems like Antonio Del Moral has beaten his opponent. He does look very happy, so yeah, he must have won this. Look at the smile on his face.
That is not the face of a man who is just bricked out. No, that's right. And his opponent taking it rather gallantly. No, you can see a disconsolate shake of the head there as the aftermath of the game is discussed. Little cheeky breaking of the fourth wall on the part of Del Moral León as he looks right down the barrel of the camera with those deep dark brown eyes. It was indeed Antonio Del Moral León who was taken out, officially confirmed by Stephen Leeming, sitting in the director's chair to my left. So these two in the dying stages of the quarterfinals. Now, interestingly, Marine, an issue that escaped the notice of many. As we bring it back to the booth now and have a chat about the issue that's actually been brought to the attention of those around the world. We missed it as well. It happens. It's been a long weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Riley Knight here with Marine Libert. What's happened is, of course, the Goblin Rabble Master that was taken off the battlefield before that did 8 damage to the Hornet's Nest. It died.
No, it shouldn't.
And it shouldn't have.
Shouldn't have.
No, absolutely not. Of course, the Hornet Nest as a 0-2, not able to punish the Rebel Master and take it off the battlefield. So that issue's being resolved as we speak. The head judge is being involved to make sure that there is an equitable outcome for all involved. See if there's anything that can be done about that. But astute viewers around the world are raising our attention, our alertness to that sort of thing. But after a very, very complicated bit of combat there, and as we say, the mono-red deck really fighting to stay in a game that it didn't look like it had any right to be in, Marine.
It had to mulligan, didn't have any 1-drop, no 2-drop, but it's still fighting with the Goblin Heel Cutters and a well-timely drawn Rebel Master. Yeah. It's still fighting. His opponent is at 3. He's got at least 4 Lightning Strike to draw into and 1 Searing Blood, so at least 5 outs. Yeah, very, very exciting, because if the top of his deck's going to treat him well in the next draw step, there's not very much his opponent can do about it. But of course, after that, it's all going to spiral out of control. There is, of course, the Den Protector waiting on top. That's going to regrow whatever
Zan Sayed chooses to draw, and of course with a range of very, very succulent and juicy options in his graveyard, he can pick up whatever he likes. Might be an Arishan Cleric, might be another Hornet's Nest, could be another Courser of Crewfix. Who knows? There is any number of cards that could be regrown there for the green-white player. So one turn remaining, my friends. You paid for your whole seat, but you'll only need the edge of it, my friends, as we find out the final the last semi-finalist that's going to join the top 4 here at GP Paris. We do have
We do have 3 other. Maybe we can already go through the 3 top 4 players.
Yeah, for sure. Let's have a discussion about exactly what's going on there.
We've got Kim Kyu-sung, who's on the red aggro deck.
This is a slightly different one, however.
Yeah, not the traditional red aggro deck, you know. This one is actually one with 4 Thunderbrick Regent. There we have it. We have it on the screen. And that one will be facing off against the winner of Tristan Puzzle and Zan Sayed. Will it be mono red against mono red or green white company once again facing off a different version of mono red? We will get to know as soon as possible. And then on the other side we have Antonio Del Moral, who's been playing fantastically all over the weekend with his Abzan control deck. He will be facing off against the Belgian Amon Simon. Abzan control against Abzan aggro. I think Abzan aggro is a little bit favorite, but it's not all that much of a difference, so anything could happen in that match.
Richard Hagen striding across the room with a great sense of purpose, and he's here with an update.
Hello there, yes, you should be back on the match any second now.
So Richard Hagen, stepping in to give us another update on exactly what's going on.
Yeah, you're back. So's the Goblin Rabble Master, and everything that both players agreed that everything from that point on would have been identical to where we left the match, which was just about to be Syed's attack, because the Rabble Master would have lived, it would have been tapped, they would have passed the turn, Syed would have untapped, done all the things he did anyway, and got to, and now here comes my attack. And right now, you're looking at him going, this is what I'm going to attack with, and working out. So we're back where we were. Essentially, it's just been corrected. The Rabble Master that wasn't meant to have died hasn't.
A very nice, easy solution there. Thanks so much for that concise update there, Rich Hagen. And the only real difference in the game as it stands now compared to where we left it is one extra blocker has been left back. So the top of the library now holding the answer for Tristan Puzzle. What has he got? 4 mana. It is a mountain. There we go. Not quite enough for Tristan Puzzle with the slow roll, taking out Zan Sayed. Unfortunately for him, is able to wrangle together a W, so off the top of his library, not treating him well enough there, Tristan Puzzle. Going down to the green-white company deck, meaning that we will have it in the semi-finals. As we bring it back to the booth one final time in the quarterfinals, Riley Knight joined by Marion Lai-Bear. It's time for you to head down to the feature match here and keep an eye on things for the semi-finals. I'll be joined by Simon Gertzen before very much longer. But as I say, semi-finals coming your way, so stick around and we'll see you very soon here at GP Paris. The top 4 is imminent.